Consumer Watch, the program that empowers you the right knowledge and help you to navigate your marketplace and keep you informed. My name is Barrister Festus Onifade. On today's episode, we'll be looking at housing delivery in Nigeria, looking at the private sector involvement, how the private sector is helping to deliver houses to many Nigerians across the nation. It is a fact that today in Nigeria, between 70 to 90% of housing are delivered by the private sector. As it were today, the public sector in itself is practically dead. They completely absent in the area of producing or giving the necessary incentive to private developers and private individuals that are involved in housing delivery. You will know, and of course, as you know, that after food, shelter is the second essential basic needs of human. And in Nigeria, with our population of over 220 million Nigerians, so many Nigerians do not have affordable and sustainable house where they can live and take care of themselves and their family. If you go to many urban cities where you have many many people stays, where we have low and medium income earners, affordable houses is a big challenge to the teeming Nigerian public. And so on today's episode, we'll be looking at how the private sector is coming to bridge this gap and provide housing deliveries for Nigeria. What are the what are the investment opportunities that this private sector are undertaking? Number one, we'll be looking at the quacks that are involved in this sector. We'll also be looking at what the institutions or what the private organizations that are involved in housing delivery, what they are doing to bridge this gap and how they are cleaning the atmosphere or the landscape of these quacks in this sector. We'll also be looking at the various infrastructural gaps within this sector, i.e. road, electricity, drainages in most of these estates that the private sector are providing. We'll also be looking at another area, another very, very important issue that have come up in housing delivery, particularly with the private sector, which is the fact that many Nigerians have said the private developers now are the new MMM in town. That if you go to every street corner in most urban cities, you find people that distributes flyers, people that give you flyers and say, oh, we can get you house, we can get you building, just bring your money. And you find many unsuspecting Nigerians invest their money and the returns do not come. Again, another issue that is so critical is the issue of quack and quackery in the system, where you find virtually everybody saying there is an estate agent, and thereabout you find people charging unsuspecting Nigerians for what you call inspection fee. Inspection fee, are they legal? Are they not legal? Then we'll also be examining the issue of skyrocketing rents in many urban cities. Should we introduce rent control back to our system? What are the things that to ameliorate the challenges that many teeming populations are going through, particularly in this area that we have inflation and we have so many competing demands that parents need to undertake. So these are many more are the things we're going to be discussing on today's episode of Consumer Watch. Welcome to our episode today. And I'm not the only one in the studio. This afternoon, I have with me distinguished gentlemen that are going to lend their voice on this topic and help us to shed more light on these issues that we are discussing. With me, this Osilama Osilama. ESV Osilama Osilama is the National Vice President, North Central of RIDAM. RIDAM is the Real Estate Developers Association. Welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. Also, we have in the studio another distinguished gentleman, ESV Shola Abejide. He's a fellow of the National Institution of Estate Surveyor and Valuers. He's the second national vice president. Welcome to the studio this afternoon.
Thank you for having me too.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with looking at the housing landscape generally in Nigeria. Like we say in the opening, that private sector contributes largely to the development of housing sector in Nigeria. We say between 70 to 90% of the housing we have in the country today are delivered by private individuals and private companies. Will you say that that is the appropriate thing and the right thing to do?
Personal understanding, I think government is supposed to provide housing, so it's not the appropriate thing to do. But in this kind of environment, if government can create the enabling environment, then it's good. It's supposed to be good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we stand today, it is the private sector that is providing the most needed housing for Nigerians. Now, what it means is that the public sector, which is the government itself, are supposed to provide the primary, what you call primary infrastructure, electricity, road, and access to many of these estates that we now see coming up. Would you say that government is doing enough?
So saying enough means average. Government has not laid any foundation, so they are not doing anything at all. Government is not doing anything. They have not tried at all.
It will sound as if you are saying government is not doing,
has not done anything. That's what I'm saying.
Really?
For so many years.
Really?
Yes.
What do you think can be done?
A lot. Government need to sit down with the relevant stakeholders so that they can come up with what they need to do. One is to create an enabling environment, like I said before. If you are going to talk about housing is a government affair because it's very expensive, it's capital intensive. So government need to sit down with relevant stakeholders. That is, you have to look at, bring professionals together who if you are going to make appointment for agencies, for instance, who will be taking decisions, they should be round peg, round holes. These are people that were trained. They will go out and do proper research to understand, because the cost of delivering houses now, construction, is very expensive. How can government make it affordable? Because when you look at the civil servants, there's no amount you can peg on a house now that they can afford the houses. So except government is directly involved, apart from primary infrastructure, government also need to provide the land, which is the raw material. That means government have to give the land to the right persons. For instance, estate developers, they have a platform. Government need to sit down and work with them and give them land so that they can use that land to provide, that is, construct affordable housing. Except government does that, we will be struggling like this. That means government will need to provide land. These lands are available, but the platform to provide these lands are not there. If you go to any land registration across the country, what you will find is that lands are given to speculators, land speculators, for maybe affordable price, who now come and sell it very at exorbitant prices. That already affects the cost of buying the land. So at the end of the day, it affects the finished product.
So the FCT itself was created about 1991 or thereabout, when the movement of Federal Capital Territory was moved from Lagos to Abuja. And one of the areas in housing at the inception. And towards the end of the 90s, government deemed it fit and said, no, we have provided enough infrastructure. There is need for private people to come in. Then government began to allocate lands to some private developers. And government give them land, and up to date, we have it on authority that government still continue to allocate land to private developers for them to develop mass housing to Nigerians. Now, if you look at the practice seems that when lands are given to many private developers, they do not develop these houses and sell to Nigerians. Rather, many of the private developers do not provide the necessary infrastructure which they are supposed to. Because talking about infrastructure, you have what we call the primary infrastructure and the secondary infrastructure. And so what they do is to parcel this land into plots and sell to Nigerians. The same Nigerians will build the land. Same Nigerians will pay or provide infrastructures. So the would-be or the developers that you are now talking about, they do not do anything. All they do was just to midwife that process. So you find out that most of the private developers do not even confer benefit on some of the lands that are allocated to them.
You want me to respond? Don't give land to the private developers. They give land to speculators, land speculators. These are two different kind of people. Land developers, estate developers, or land developers are different from speculators. When you give land to somebody who will go and sell, it's not the same thing.
Can you substantiate this claim?
Why are you asking? If I cannot substantiate it, I won't say it. I won't say it. If I cannot substantiate it, I won't say it. You can quote me without reservation. I'm not afraid of anybody. Government give land to speculators, land speculators. The land speculators sell this land at exorbitant prices to estate developers. Now, when you are talking about developers apportioning land,
parceling lands and selling them as a bare land,
as bare land,
rather than develop.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's another concept of estate development. It is called service plot. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, estate development is capital intensive.
No, the reason why I'm saying this is because if you look at, we have researched, if you look at some of the terms which these lands are granted, they are granted on the terms that...
You have accused the developers. Let me clear that.
No, they are granted on the terms which they are supposed to provide this infrastructure. And they are supposed to build mass housing. Remember, here we are talking about mass affordable houses. And so these houses are not built. Rather, they are parceled into plots and sold to individuals who will in turn build and provide for this same infrastructure by themselves.
That's what I'm correcting, that government allocate majority of the mass housing land to land speculators, not estate developers. An estate developer has experience. He knows how to source for money to build the houses. You understand? So a template where the land mass housing are given to majority of land speculators, it will end up in the hands of estate developer at an exorbitant price. This land speculator gets it very affordable. So it is supposed to be for mass housing. But by the time it goes through that chain, it becomes very expensive. And once it's expensive, he wants to recover his money back. And in the process of trying to recover his money, and he doesn't have capital to build those houses, then he will end up partitioning the land and using it for what you are calling service plots now. What you are describing is service plot. And at the end of the day, if you are saying the estate developer did not do anything, he just midwifed the project, his experience still count in that process. You understand? It's not all estate developers that do that. You understand? But that's just a concept of estate development.
Mr. Abejide, I'm coming to you shortly, but as are very interested in this issue. There are also other allegations that the real estate developers, particularly in Abuja and many urban cities, do not develop houses for the medium and low income earners. That most of the houses they develop are for high-end and luxury homes. And I mean, the example abounds. In Abuja, you cannot get any house that are within, even outside the city centers. Most of the what you call civil servants cannot afford it. So what they do is to build a house or houses that are way above the income of average income earner.
Raw material can be given through the normal process, which is apply for a land as an estate developer. Prove that you have capacity to develop this land and you are given the land. We won't have that problem. But if I go to the market, the open market, to buy a land like 2 hectares, I got it for like 1 billion or 2 billion, for instance. How can I come and use it for affordable housing? After all, I'm in business to make profit. That's the problem. So the thing is this: if estate developers are unable to deliver their affordable housing for average Nigerians, simply means the process of getting the affordable housing is not, the template is not in place. That means there's a need for government to create an enabling environment, because you have to consider the cost of building materials. You understand? You have to consider
the cost of inflation.
Yep, you have to consider forex, foreign exchange.
Cost of provision of infrastructure.
Exactly.
These are very critical. Cost of labor. These are very critical elements in housing development. Shola Abejide, welcome. I think it's time you took mouth in this matter. And I understand many of you are wearing two caps. You belong to the Estate Institution Association. Nigerian Estate Institution.
Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers.
Estate Surveyors and Valuers, yes. And you also belong to the, you do not belong to the real estate developers?
Yes, I am through a sister company.
Oh, you are. So indirectly you are wearing two caps. So, but looking at Nigerian Institution of Estate Valuers and Surveyors, can you tell us some of the challenges and some of the contribution of the institution to housing development in Nigeria?
Once again for this very enlightening conversation. The Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers over the years have partnered with government through providing consultancy advice, through reporting back to government on feelers with respect to Nigerians, with respect to their pains, with respect to their expectations from the government. I'll say our professional body, as it stands, in virtually every conference that we have, which is annual, we always come up with position papers, communiques on matters that affect the real estate sector in Nigeria. And let me go straight down. As a professional body, we have our members literally in all states of the Federation, and our members are well trained and equipped with the required knowledge to handle matters that concern housing and beyond housing, matters related to housing. And what I mean to say is this, that if you look at our professional body, we have advocated so many times on what government should do with respect to housing. First and foremost, we have said severally that we need data. And why do we say we need data? It is funny that in Nigeria today, we have people banding different figures on housing deficits. 17 million, 15 million, 20 million. Recently, I even had 50 million. I mean, let's get serious. How can a nation, in the class of Nigeria, not be serious enough to do proper research to know its actual housing deficit? It is shameful. It is shameful that we are at the level where we are getting. It is also shameful that even government bodies, government organizations are giving conflicting figures. I mean, how do you say 15 million, someone say 20 million? That gap is too much to be an estimate. So what we require, and we have also said that, is a proper research on data. We need proper data. For example, as you are saying affordable housing, that word is even relative. What is affordable to you may not be affordable to me. Starting point. So who are the number of Nigerians that need affordable housing? Where are the statistics? The low income earners, middle income earners, where do they reside? These are things that our professional body have advised that they should partner with us so that we can help out with data gathering, data analysis, and data processing to get this data for government to make proper decisions.
And informed decisions. Episode that has to do with housing delivery in Nigeria. This is not our first episode. We've run like 2-3 episodes earlier. And in our earlier episode, we have a number of callers calling in, agitating and giving their responses. One of the issues that you raised was whether or not what is the real figure of housing deficit. And in my opening, I was to say it ranges between 15 to 17 million. While some people are saying 15 million, some people are saying no, it's 17 million. I say, yeah, it has reduced. So you are right on point that we don't even have adequate data to really know exactly the number of housing deficit we have. And of course, you will know that is panning out on the fact that we don't even know the exact amount, the exact number of population census that we have now. So we are working with what you call estimate. And we believe that the government is still going to conduct census in the nearest future. But let's put that in the parking lot for now. Let's look at again, particularly in your sector, in your institution, how can an average Nigerian know the difference between a quack and a certified?
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to respond in a very interesting way. The Holy Book says that where there's no law, there is no sin. And why have I started this way? The real estate sector in Nigeria is highly unregulated. There's no legislative defense or legislative authority for practice of estate agency in Nigeria as it stands today. As surveyors and
So
valuers,
what is your body doing about that?
yeah. So as surveyors and valuers, you would say that by our training, by our skill sets, by our registration, we are empowered to provide this service to Nigerians, across the length and breadth of this country. However, we have a situation where you have in a country a set of professionals who are armed with the skill to provide the service, but there's no backing, there's no protection by legislation.
Who is to do that?
So at the moment, as surveyors and valuers, we have continually, advocated that there's a need for regulation of the real estate space in Nigeria. We have actually supported and also sponsored at least 2 bills in this respect. That real estate in Nigeria should not be an all-comers affair. A business or an industry that involves.
So you have not succeeded yet in getting that done. That's what it means. Because estate agents,
Certainly, you have housewife, gatesman, a farmer, anybody.
by legislating what you think should be the appropriate gateway for ingress and egress of individuals.
Yes, we have not succeeded, but that's not to say we have given up. We are still doing a lot to ensure that government hears us out. You don't just throw away money based on emotions. It's my brother, it's my sister in Nigeria. First and foremost, to ask the question, ask anybody who you are dealing with in terms of trying to rent a property or trying to buy or sell a property. Are you a registered member of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers? Do you have a stamp and seal issued to you by the Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria? Then again, we have a logo that has an eagle crested in it. That logo is what will easily at first instance tell you that this person is a registered professional. Normally, quacks do not have anything to reference. What they have, they will tell you that they have an association that is registered with CAC. Under the aegis of that association, they are carrying out what they do. But this is specialist field, I always say it, where you must require a professional to give you the mix of how you invest funds, of how you manage funds to achieve your desired goal. And so I would call on Nigerians to insist and interrogate anybody dealing with them, holding out themselves.
But the question is, who delivers? You find out that in most cases, some of the people we call quacks actually delivers. They'll give you what you want. You want a house in Gwarinpa, you want a house in Dugbe, they delivers delivery. Or whether he's paying for something. So the issue of whether he pays and he didn't get what he pays for is for later on. But as at the time, most of the time that he is engaging this individual, some of them delivers on the mandate they are given.
Yes, and that's also this for a long time. I will say this very clearly. It's like saying that you have a quack lawyer who always goes to court and somehow manages to win his case. And we say, okay, everybody waits. But the day that lawyer will make a mistake that will lead to sentencing an innocent man to jail, then that time the price will be too costly. I would say, sincerely speaking, that if Nigerians are going to feel that it's easier and cheaper to patronize quacks, then they are taking a huge risk. And I can tell you that so many Nigerians have been beat in the finger. They have lost a lot of money. They have been duped.
What has stopped the institution from upgrading its services to that of like their counterpart, the lawyers? Because I'm not sure that the lawyers have any legislative backing by the National Assembly. They have an association. They have some rules of professional conduct that guides them. What is stopping the estate valuers also?
The essence is always and valuers we have rules and regulations that guide us as professionals.
And so
a meeting with the EFCC, and we requested for a synergy, whereby we report persons who are practicing without license or without registration to them for prosecution, persons who hold themselves as valuers who are not valuers, persons who themselves as professionals who are not professional in the real estate sector. And of course, that conversation is going on between us and EFC. However, you see, the act that set up our operational body regulates estate surveyors and valuers. It does not regulate the entire country. It will regulate our members. So if our members commit any professional breach, you can report to the Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria, and that matter will be investigated. If he is found wanting, he will be expelled, he will be suspended, or other punitive measures will be applied to that member. But for a quack, who are you going to run to? Many times you are looking to get to court, go to police, and it's neither here nor there at the end of the day.